Hi, everybody. Thank you for tuning in. I'm going to let you know straight out of the gate that I have two primary purposes for this video. One is I want to drop a little bit of education in terms of racial justice, and I also want to do a fundraiser. Please do not click away yet. This is not about my job. This is not about my business. This isn't really about me as an individual at all. I'm just a guy who is learning and knows some things and cares a lot and wants to actually take action to do with the things that I am passionate about. And so, in light of all of the news and the movements and the protests that have been happening, really especially in response to all the violence that's being waged against Black bodies throughout the United States, there has been such I feel like a resurgence of support for the Black Lives Matter movement, which is super encouraging, super important. And I'm really hoping that we as a society can sustain that even when it vanishes from the news cycles. But what I want to talk about today, I want to introduce a concept called intersectionality. And that particular word was coined by the brilliant Kimberly Crenshaw. And it has to do with the ways that different identity categories overlap and intersect. And when they do have these overlaps, they make the challenges and the types of marginalization that people experience even more complex, even more complicated. And so to bring this into the perspective of the current Black Lives Matter movement, what I have seen, my observations have been that people get the most passionate when it is a straight Black man who has been victim to this violence. And I think we're doing an awesome job of supporting people who look just like me. But what I've seen is that unfortunately the same can't be said when there are Black women or they are Black and LGBTQ. And then again, when you start layering these different identity categories together, so let's say a Black woman who is also LGBTQ, who also has a disability, just again, the complexities of the ways that systems work against that individual are just multiplied. And it's really important when we are looking to do this work, we're looking to make some changes at a systemic level to understand that it's not just a one size fits all. What happens is that we are more effective in advocating for people who are essentially the most powerful of marginalized groups, if that makes sense. I would say that history and news and stats will show that I myself, as a cisgender, heterosexual Black man, I tend to have more systemic power than other Black people who have some of these other categories going along with them. So I hope that makes sense to try to bring all that together. And a couple of statistics I just want to share that even show some of this. Black transgender women face the highest levels of violence within the LGBTQ community as a whole. 38% of Black trans people who interact with police report harassment. 14% report physical violence and 6% report sexual assault. A statistic that a friend of mine told me about recently, shout out to Jasmine, average life expectancy for a Black trans woman is only 35 years old, which just blows my mind. I will be 37 this year and feel nowhere near the end of my life expectancy. So there's so many statistics that just show the importance of us centering marginalized people and then bringing further nuance into centering even the most marginalized of the marginalized. So all of that interlude to say that I am creating a fundraiser. I'm really excited about this fundraiser. I am a firm believer in the need to support organizations that are doing major work to change some of these systems over. And there are some fantastic LGBTQ advocacy empowerment organizations that already exist. Please support them. I will include some links to them in the description of this video below. So please check those out. I also believe that there is something powerful and meaningful to also directly putting dollars into the pockets of marginalized people. And that's what the idea of this fundraiser came from. I have been thinking about this for about the last month and a half, didn't have capacity or energy to put it together. And now I'm making it happen. So let me tell you what my ask is for you today. I am creating a fundraiser with the goal of reaching $5,000. And if it gets higher than that, then I'll be even more excited. But my game plan is to use those funds to put $200 each into the pockets of Black LGBTQ people, with a further priority for transgender and gender non-conforming or non-binary people as well. And hopefully some of those stats show why I would prioritize in that way. But just knowing people in my life, people that I've been able to learn and grow from, and hearing some of the extended challenges and ways that they're experiencing marginalization and oppression just inspires me to want to use my little circle of influence and try to make somewhat of a difference, and to just help people out directly. And I, myself, my family, and I, we are actually putting the first $200 into the pot. So we're using $200 of our own money to go towards this fundraiser. And regardless of whatever your financial means may be, if 200 is way too much and maybe you've got $2, you've got $10, you've got 20, I welcome it. And I'm trying to make this as accessible for people who want to give as possible. So if you want to use PayPal, you want to use Cash App, you want to use Venmo, I'll drop my links to those also in the description. And perhaps I'll have them even show up right here on the video itself. And if it doesn't show up here on the video, then I'll just be making this motion and looking ridiculous for no reason. But I hope that you will join me in raising these funds. Again, these dollars, 100% of these dollars are going directly into the pockets of Black LGBTQ plus people, with again a priority for transgender and non-binary people. So please partner with me, please give your money, and I am very enthusiastic that we'll be able to reach this goal and put some money into the pockets of people who could really use it. So that's all I have for now. Let me know if you have any questions. Let me know if you have other thoughts or ways to be helpful, and I welcome it all. Thanks, everybody. Bye.